Well, guys, I am back to talk to you again. I missed all of last week because I was at a conference in Orlando trying to learn how to be a better leader, a better speaker, a better trainer and coach, and I want to be really adding value to your life. And so I missed last week, but we'll be back on target this week. A couple of things are just funny. I just noticed that I am wearing the exact same shirt that I wore when I recorded the last week's. Now, you know what I do is I sit down and I record all the lessons for 1 week, and then I'm always dressed the same way for that entire session because I do like 5 lessons at a time. On a short time, I do 3, and so here I am in the same shirt. I am not that poor. I can't afford to buy another shirt. I can't afford to change shirts, but there you go. I'm not yet learned how to be very television-like. I need to. Also, before I step away and talk to you about the theme that we're on today, I'd like to invite you to come to the Society of Mentors. You can do that by going to societyofmentors.com, and you can get more information. And we'd love to have you come and be a part of that, where I share a lot more than what I'm going through here. Every pastor is welcome to be a part. Every missionary, even a layperson who wants to be a mentor, is mentoring people. You can be a part. In other words, there is this secret that many of us really want to help change lives, but we often don't know how, and that's what I try to do, is share how to go about finding and training and working with people. And I'd love to have you come and be a part. We have the price, I think, is at like $29 now, or I don't know, it's less than that if you pay for a year in advance. And so I invite you to come and be a part of it. Well, I'm talking to you about a mentoring ministry, and we're going to change gears a little bit today. But the Bible verse that I use as like the core verse for our ministry is 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 2, where the Bible says, "And the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also." That is such a key verse. So the key ministry that Paul gave Timothy, Paul's writing to Timothy, and he said to Timothy, you're going to need to preach the word, be instant in season, out of season. He's going to give him a whole lot of instructions. But in 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 2, he kind of gives him the secret of the ministry. And he says to him, Timothy, you do understand that what I do and what I have done and what I teach you to do is to take what you learn and find people you can give it to that can use it in the ministry, and make sure the ones you're investing time in are able to teach others also. Now, what happens is, pastors, man, we make so many mistakes. We don't consider our job to be the training of men. So what we do is, when I have a young man that wants to be in the ministry, I send him off to a Bible college somewhere. And he comes away from that Bible college, and yes, he learns a lot, and they're good colleges. They're all good colleges. No, I am not questioning that part at all. But, you could have trained him. You could have spent more time with him than you did. And Jesus spent time with them. He lived with those guys. Remember, he chose them that he might be with them. And Paul said, I want you to share with them what you have. So the real goal of the ministry was not so much doing the ministry as it was training others to do the ministry. The more we get doing the ministry, the better the work will go. Many hands make the load light. Somebody said that when I was a kid. Many hands make the load light. If you had to move 1,000 pounds of anything out here in my driveway, one person would be almost impossible. But if you got enough people around it, and they could get a finger hold on it, they could get a way to pick it up, you could move the 1,000 pounds. I used to do that in Peru all the time. I'd show them. I'd get me and all the biggest pastors, and we'd all sit on a bench, and the benches were 10 feet long, and so there would be like eight of us, and so you're looking at nearly a ton. And then I ask one guy to pick us up, and of course he couldn't, and everybody would laugh, and then I would say, all right, let's get teamwork here. Let's get everybody. And so then they get all around it, and they pick us up, and they just laugh about how they could carry us around, and they could have thrown us on the floor, because many hands make the load light. And so, Pastor, your job is not, you are going to win souls, and you are going to baptize people, and you are going to give basic discipleship, but your real goal in your ministry is going to be to train men to do the work. That's your real goal. And so you can so easily get off track and get caught up in so many other things, and you don't do what God actually called you to do. Before I close for today, pastors become crisis managers. They are really good at helping people that mess up their lives get their lives back on track. So here's a family getting a divorce, or a messed up marriage, or messed up family, messed up children, and we help them put their lives back together. Well, we'll rush and we'll sit with them at the hospital. We'll go to the emergency room. We'll go to the site of the wreck. We'll do whatever it is. We love to be there in the hour of the crisis. But we don't really help them go farther than that. We get them back in church, and it's not long till they quit on us. They quit because they needed help, but they didn't learn to help. They needed help, but they didn't learn to help. So they got help, and their life could have had purpose if they weren't the recipients. So we've got this little welfare thing going on where it's like, oh, well, I don't need their help anymore, so I'll leave the church. So they either quit or they go find another church that'll help them go on to do ministry. You want to do more than help the hurting. You want to lead the serving. You want to do more than help the hurting. You want to lead the serving. We sometimes don't know what to do when they get finished with their problems. Where do we take them next? We know how to love people, but we don't know how to lead. So you come back tomorrow, and I'm going to give you some more ideas from the Bible on how you can be changing lives by mentoring and training others to do the ministry.